probably about 30 books left remaining. And for today only, okay, for a donation, okay, this is going to include shipping. For $40, I will send one out to you. For $40. So when you make a donation at forthepeopleshow.com, I'll know it's for the Survival Guide book. But for $40, it covers all of this stuff. I'm ready. If you're not, you need to be ready. It covers everything. How to maybe darken your windows so you don't become a victim. How to live. Security issues. EMP issues. All these scenarios. And this is the modern threat, folks. This stuff is real. We've been talking about it for years. For years. As a matter of fact, for 2 decades. I think Y2K was probably a wake-up call. Oh, yeah, you say, well, it didn't happen. There was companies that did go dark and their computers didn't work, and there were systems that didn't work. That the number of the change in the middle, it made a big impact. It was thousands of companies, but it wasn't as devastating as they said it was going to be. But there were patches for that. And apparently there's a 22-year-old, a researcher that helped thwart more cyber attacks. And he's on the job with a patch for this worm, is what they're calling it, to propagate through the systems. But it's a good one. But it's not a complete fix because they say more on the way. So, folks, again, great way to be ready is to make sure you have this generator. You say you can't afford one. Well, look on Craigslist. Pawn shops, find one. And you don't need a big one. Well, depending on how many things you want to plug in. But remember, the more juice your refrigerator, bare minimal. Your water heater on electric? Okay. So maybe that and some lights. Things like that, bare essentials. That way you can live. That you can survive. You want to have electric. Some of you may have CPACs. Some of you, you have different needs medically that you might need that electric. Look into it. That's all I'm saying. Look into it. If there's a thunderstorm, somebody runs into a pole, well, there you go. That'll cover you there too. I always was amazed at the redundancy of the founder of this program. He had every redundancy for the radio network, but for his house too, just to be ready. And I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with doing it. You'll be glad you did for a day such as today. When we open up the newspapers today, hear the news about these cyber attacks, everything runs on computers, folks. Everything runs on computers. Everything. You say, well, I don't run on computers. Well, that doesn't matter if you don't run on computers, but the country does. It controls the water in your city, okay? Your water in your city, the sewage, the traffic lights, the gasoline, the grocery stores. They can't deliver food unless they have refrigeration. You think all those grocery stores have big generators? No, they don't. And the cell phones, they have a propane tank, and most of them maybe give you enough cell, maybe 2-3 days, 4 days at best, and that's it. Then it runs out. So you want to, again, that's the best thing. Solar panels, maybe with some cycle batteries, kind of like the golf cart batteries. You kind of pair them together. You find an electrician to do that and keep them charged. And then you can plug in a power strip and then have that charged with a solar panel during the day. That's a great idea. Again, all this stuff's in the book. $40 donation today at forthepeopleshow.com. Send you the book while supplies last. But I would get a copy right now, sooner rather than later. Get the book to you. It covers all of this and more. to protect you and yourself and your family. Like I said, my family's taken care of. I want your family to be taken care of too. And this is a great way to ensure that you've thought of everything. You don't want to leave anything by chance. By the way, over the weekend, the North, and I'm talking about North Korea, the threat intensifies. They were able to launch a missile hundreds and hundreds of miles very close to Russia. And now what are they saying? Well, North Korea is saying that it's their latest claim. Kim Jong-un is saying a missile could carry a nuclear warhead. And they're watching the situation very, very closely. But this was the most impressive launch so far. They're getting better. The engines are getting better. The software is getting better. We're watching them very, very closely, and Russia's not very happy about it. Not too far, 50, 60 miles away from Russia? It's pretty close, and they're not happy. I don't think this guy's getting the message. Now, the sanctions are hurting him. Well, beginning to hurt him, but more sanctions are on the way. And what's a shame about all of this? On will continue to eat. It's the citizens of North Korea. They're already having it in a bad way as it is. Malnutrition. But his army. I don't know how much food he's got stored from China, where they get most of their food from. But supposedly that's going to crack down. But they're going to tighten the screws on this guy and try to make it impossible. But again, this guy says, I will launch these missiles. This is the leader, Kim Jong-un. He says, I will launch these anytime I want to. Nobody's going to tell us what we can do. So this should get very interesting. Like I said, I think this is going to go down this summer. I think that there's going to be a shock and awe. I think we have to hit them very, very hard with allies. And China has to be ready for immigrants. Other countries may want to take some in, but it's going to have to be a shock and awe. These people want to go down in a blaze of glory. I really, they say this guy's not crazy. What is he? He's playing with fire, literally. The guy is definitely a loose cannon. But you can bet your bottom dollar, you heard it here, that we will have a showdown with him. They say last, week and a half ago that they wanted to have talks with the U.S., that they would consider it. They were going to have talks with the South, and that they would strongly consider it. They're talking about things, but it's not the kind of conversation that we can trust. And it's worrying a lot of folks, including our military, that's just how many, a stone throw away in the South, over 250,000 troops, plus their population in South Korea. Major concerns, including our west coast of the United States. Stick around, we'll be back.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms. And the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew was I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it, don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on. To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please, call or go online with your gift right now.
The internet is a big place, but 123 Ready TV has made it easy to start enjoying all of the current movies you enjoy and those movie classics. What if I told you that you could start streaming everything now and all the latest movies for just $19.99? And it's a one-time charge, not monthly. 123 Ready TV is a media app that you can have on your PC or your Android phone. You see, this app allows you to stream movies and TV shows, weather, and anything you already have on your PC or your phone or on the internet. Plus, no commercials. Find out why so many people are using this amazing media player. Start saving money and start enjoying all your favorite TV shows now and movies for just a one-time payment of $19.99. To get yours, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com and click on the store page for your 123 Ready TV. Making a difference is something we strive to do each day at For the People. Our broadcast takes today's news and puts it into perspective with a common sense approach. Even Bill Clinton on the stump said that it was broken, it was laughable, it was a joke, it wasn't helping people, real people, it wasn't, because the premiums are too high. For the People needs your help. We are asking you to help us raise $5,000 so we can get the word out to more places that might one day carry For the People. Just log on to For the People's website at forthepeopleshow.com. By partnering with us, you're ensuring our survival and giving others the opportunity to hear a quality show that cares about America and your future. To make a donation, type forthepeopleshow.com into your browser. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Thank you for your support. It's Keith Allen, and For the People is the broadcast that you're listening to. And John from Wisconsin, he just said, is that shipping included with the $40? It is. We'll send that survival guide by Chuck Harder directly to you. Just order now while supplies last. Very limited supply. I had a few in my trunk, actually, left over. Did not know they were there, and there they are. And I just think it's a perfect opportunity. And it helps support For the People. So if you want it, get it now while they're available. Because once these are gone, they're gone. There's no more of them. Not being sold anywhere else, exclusive. So $40 gets you the survival guide by Chuck Harder. And you can just order online at forthepeopleshow.com. Just donate $40. They'll know what it's for. And I'll send it right directly your way. And trust me, it is chock full of everything. We've tested everything to make sure that it all works. And believe me, it covers everything that you can imagine. Storms and disasters of every kind. And it's the best that I have ever seen. And I've actually have read quite a bit when it comes to survival. And I know people that are in the Green Berets, if you will, and have learned survival, and they say it's good. So if these guys that, they have to survive in the jungles, in the worst conditions, and they say it's good, it's got to be good. But Chuck, he did his research. He didn't put together something that he didn't believe in, and that's why he'd always test everything that came in. Hey, you got to honor that. It was great working with Chuck. People ask, how's Chuck? He's still alive. He's at a nursing home in Gainesville, Signature Nursing Home. You could send him a postcard if you'd like. Signature Nursing Home in Gainesville. He would love it if you'd write him. I know he'd like it very, very much. Just Chuck Harder Signature Nursing Home in Gainesville. You can find the address.